Alright, shalom family, yeah, shalom to everyone out there. Shalom. Sorry, it's a bit of a late broadcast. I just wanted to do something tonight, and hopefully there'll be a few people who want to listen to this. Maybe we could do an hour or something like that. I'm hoping that I'm coming out clear at the moment. So shalom here to all of you. Shalom here to all of you. Shalom. Just give me a few seconds. I'm just gonna get my screen working. Been like trying to make this thing like half hour now. Too much technicality. So alright, family, here to you as you come in. I can't see my YouTube screen at the moment, so I'm gonna have to look on my laptop. So just give me a second to work this out. Just trying to set these things up sometimes can be a little bit hectic. So give me a few seconds, please. I can't really see anybody. I might even be talking to myself right now. So, but in any case, shalom over here to all of you. Peace to all of you out there. My hope is that you're well and healthy, as your brother Ty is right now. And I'm praying that our message has some meaning to somebody out there tonight or this morning, depending on where you are. So just give me a second. Shalom, you're welcome into this truth session. Let's see how we can take this one. Obviously, there's questions on the screen right now. Questions like, where are the true Christians? Is this a persecution of the biblical community now? And is the biblical Christian community starting to turn on itself, as we have predicted it will be? So this really is more like, I'm like looking for, Christians to come and give perspectives on what they see going on. I'd like to hear that. That'd be really interesting. Now, what do you think, family? It'd be nice to hear what Christians have to say about this situation, for some of them following it, and obviously for Christians in Australia especially, who know a little bit more about this situation. Okay. I know there's one or two people over in Australia who come on our show, and we've tried to explain to them what Christianity is and what it's not, or what the Bible is and what it's not, right? It's always been a struggle just trying to make them see clearly. However, it's becoming clearer and clearer every single day that what we've said since the morning is gonna be true by the time the night comes, right? So that's just an old biblical proverb anyway. So I would like to hear what Christians have to say about this situation. I'm gonna let a few more people come in, and we'll see how we top this out in terms of our numbers, and then I'll play the Sky News. Excuse me. I'll play the Sky News clip, which is about 10 minutes long, and hopefully they understand it's just for educational purposes. So it's already on the screen there. It's a non-profit use. We're using this for Sky News, Sky TV. So thank you for that. I'm sure this is in the interest of the public as well, and that might even get more people watching Sky News to see what's going on around the world. Most of us hardly have time to watch anything serious these days, and but anyway, Sky News has picked up the story. It's been a long time running story, really, down under Australia, those areas of the world. And it involves this young man called Israel Folau, who is a Christian, who plays rugby in the Australian Rugby League or whatever it's called down there. Excuse my ignorance. I just have no interest of getting into sport. I used to be a footballer. I have no interest in it besides just watching it for a few seconds. All right. So do excuse my ignorance right now. But yeah, my point is he's a Australian rugby superstar and somebody who would be considered of ethnic minority status, but nevertheless, their minority, what's it called now, ethnicities or communities, are staunchly biblical Christian based. And this brother has been sort of, I've followed quite a bit of the story. Just because of the free speech aspect and the homophobic allegations that's coming more and more against anybody who has anything to say from inside the Bible or from anywhere else, basically. And just to put out quickly right now, whilst this title has the word gay and such a connotation in it, it's absolutely got nothing to do with gay bashing or hatred of any one group based on any demographic at all. And at the same time, we are trying to establish our rights just to be human, regardless of whatever demographic we fit into. All right. This kind of debate or discussion, I believe, needs to come much more publicly to the front. The powers that be will not allow it because somebody's going to be left holding the baby at the end, right? But what we're trying to do right now is to present cases like this without prejudice, without hatred, without picking on anyone. So anybody who might consider themselves offended, or maybe in the gay community or any affiliated communities, this is not about hating you personally or hating your group if you belong to one, or hating your situation. In fact, this is about looking at that situation from a truth point of view and a holistic point of view and a healing point of view, and from the creator's point of view. So the creator's point of view is that he made all of us on the earth today, all right, and all of us have one problem or the other, or multiple problems. So if you don't actually believe in the creator, then I don't see how this harms your feelings. If you believe in the creator, I say if you believe in the creator, then it's upon yourself to also have a look at what he says about his creation. All right, so that's on you to do that. Having said that, this is not, I repeat, this is not a hate channel, and it's not a hate quest. It's not a hate quest at all. It's a love quest. A love in truth, however. All right, so is there someone who's gay out there? Is there a gay person out there, a brother, I don't know, sister, who wants to enlighten us a little bit? So because people seem to only hear the gay voice. Maybe I'm wrong and ignorant a little bit again here. I suspect I am. When they've made some comments and the gay community just want to lash out back against some maybe hateful comments or misconstrued comments that they've heard out there. So I would invite someone who's gay who can give us a balanced perspective on this kind of issue. So I'm inviting anyone from the gay community or anyone who may even have something to say. And at the same time, if there's anybody out there who might think they're gay and they believe in the Bible and they think they might need some assistance in understanding what's going on in their life or the choices they've made and how that affects them, and they need some kind of like brotherly counseling, brotherly talking to, your brother Ty is always here. All right, so please, that's an invitation again. even on a personal level. For anyone out there who may think they have a problem and they want to talk about it, you're free to come on the channel, and you're free to get in touch with me personally, and and talk. All right. Now, I would put out there, and I have put out there before, no one's sin, if we're talking about sin. All right. No one's sin, if we're talking about sin, is greater than the other. Okay. No one's sin is greater than the other. All right. In the secular world, many crimes are not even justified with punishment sometimes, and some punishments seem overly over the top sometimes, even in the secular world, and people wonder what's going on. For example, in the United States, they have the death penalty for stuff like that. If it was in the United Kingdom, for example, may they give you 30, 20 years, stuff like that. So there's always like a cultural perspective on what offenses, crimes, and stuff is, basically. But when we're talking from the Bible, unfortunately, the Bible has been set into place for millennia. The Bible has been set into place for millennia, and we're in a situation now where the same people who gave us the Bible in terms of the book and the understanding and the teaching or the education from it are the same people now telling us that we are wrong for becoming what we have become. I.e., for those of you who are Christians, you're feeling like, what's going on? We were told to become Christians. Our parents, our mom, our dads, everybody was told to become Christians. Now we're Christians. Now you're telling us we can't think like Christians. What exactly do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? At one point, we were told the Bible was the best book on the planet and the best book on the earth. The whole Western nation has said that they regard the Bible as the immutable word of the Creator. They call him God. And for hundreds of years, they've stuck by it. The book close to their chest. They've stuck by it and proselytized in nations far and wide. And now, people, swallowed all the doctrines, have become the book, and you're telling them not to speak the book anymore. You're telling them to shut down their minds and just become robots. I mean, how easy is that going to be? So I think what I want to try and do on this show right now is, if we could have somebody from the gay community or somebody who thinks they might have been touched by what they think is an insensitive comment or remark or postings by this young man called Israel Folau for so long, and they feel harmed. And I can understand their point of view. Seriously, I can. I seriously can, because guess what? There's so many other things we do in a normal day of life that when it comes to people being named and shamed, it's not an easy thing. If we're going to go down that way and say, people being named and shamed for their mistakes, their errors, or their choices. All right. Nobody likes being picked on by anybody, especially a bigger group, like the majority picking on the minority. It can weigh down on you. It can seriously weigh down on you. So from a gay person's perspective, it's very important for you family out there to understand the psychological and spiritual, even, and all kinds of other ways that these kind of weights, social weights, weigh down on these minority people. And they are minority people, and that's really true. Okay, so now on the flip side of it is how to put it now. Everybody's got their choice, and everybody's got their way that they want to live in terms of society. On the bigger side of society, societal rules are made, if you like it or not, by the government at the end of the day. All right, the government, as we can see right now, the governments are busy telling people what to think. or what to say, where to say, how to say. And it's starting increasingly to become punitive if you get it wrong. Unfortunately, most of us are set in our own ways. It's going to be hard to change. Now, if they want non-gay people to suddenly change their attitudes, which were drilled into us from a childhood, and not only by education but also by a spiritual awareness that we just have, like to say, why are these things like that? There are simple answers for them which are observable, and some people have gone with that. Now, whatever else is not observable to them, they count as anathema to their existence. I.e., for example, when you want to explain, I mean, look, there's so much to talk about here. But when you want to explain things to children, there's certain questions that children are gonna ask that people are gonna be like, I don't know what to say. But what do we do? We've already hedged ourselves into a corner, and it's hard to get out of it. What do we now do? So, on one hand, we have the gay movement or the LGBT movement, and so on and so forth, fighting their corner. And then you have the religious movement fighting their corner. And guess what? There's not only the religious movement. It's not only people in religion who have this notion that being gay is not right or is wrong. It's not only religious people. It's people from all walks of life. If they actually did if they did a survey, they'll actually find that. All right. But what we want to try and do is not start taking sides and fighting each other within this global war on humanity. What we want to do is starting to look at ways for us to manage the situation. Because at the end of the day, I believe governments can come and go. The people will always remain. Governments can come and go. The people will always remain. All right. So you are part of the government. Be you gay, be you straight, be you anything. You're part of that government. So let's hear your voice. Let's hear your voice. So, all right, family. Shalom ear to you. Thank you for coming on board. I haven't been talking too much. Sometimes I deliberately try and extend the intro just to see how many more of us come in before we, get to the nitty gritty of the thing. I'm really trying to put this into like an hour, which is really difficult for us because we start to enjoy this thing. And because it's a live stream, we're just here to have a right time and a nice time, basically. All right. And then edify the family from inside the Bible and keep our spirits heightened in terms of our beliefs and our faith. So, having said that, our creator, Iye, Ashe Iye, and his son have no pleasure in condemning any of us to so-called hell. His pleasure, our creator's pleasure, is to see all of us turn around and follow his way, the way of life. That's it. That's as easy as that teaching should be put. Now, people who are teaching it a little bit more hard, in terms of drastic, draconian language, sometimes we may understand their passion, but sometimes we also have to ask them to follow examples of the true Christ himself. Just as we would sort of like hope to discipline a child in love, to make that child understand that what they've done is wrong. It's not you we hate, it's whatever we think you've done wrong. It's the same way these pastors and Christians or whoever the religious person is, the same way they have to approach the public first. All right, you can't approach the public with fire and brimstone burning if you haven't actually done it in explanation for them to understand what you're talking about first. It has to be done, because we would find out that nobody on the face of the earth is without error. Nobody on the face of the earth is without sin. Nobody on the face of the earth is without mistakes and stuff like that. So we need to have some wisdom in how we approach those who may differ from our understanding. That's just the first line of engagement. All right. So, family, don't want to talk too much right now before we get into it. Hopefully, people come on and watch. We know Saturday nights is a time, or evenings is a time people just coming off their weekly shift. They just want to relax and chill out and stuff like that. And it's pretty late as well, so we won't keep you long. I want to know your thoughts. Please do come in if you can, and let's talk about this thing. Will I be able to go through the roll call this evening? Let's have a look. We got about 30 of us right there. Jerry Oye, Francisco Aves, Jadi, Stefano, Sunshine, Benjamin Wolf, Simon Yamar, John Robert, Shaka G, Daniel Nagash, Eternal Life, Muhammad Islam, Lady Divine, Brian. Shalom to all of you. Shalom to all of you family. Shalom to all of you family. Turok. Shalom to you. Let truth prevail. Shalom to you as well. Shalom to you as well. Shalom to all the family in the house, both our brothers and sisters all over the earth. Welcome again on the HIT. It's your brother Ty hosting this show this morning, noon or night, depending on where you are. So let's get into it. Let's watch, courtesy of Sky News, let's watch this little sort of like debate, or what is it, yeah, about this incident. And what we're trying to catch here is the narrative that's being formed on the earth right now. Free speech, hate speech, biblical opinion, gay rights, gay thoughts, heterosexual thoughts, whatever it is, right, family? And the right to speak your mind while you're at your workplace, while you're at your job. Who controls our jobs? Can you say whatever you want at your job and still feel like you got a job the next day? Or do you feel like you can't speak because those who own your job won't like what you're saying? Where's the world heading? Where's the world heading, family? I want to hear your views. First, let's hear the views of Sky TV. All right. So I'm going to try and put that Sky TV interview on, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so it's going to take about, I think, 10-11 minutes, this whole thing, yeah? So let's hear it, family.
Australian rugby's biggest stars has been sacked over homophobic social media posts. Wallabies fullback Israel Folau, who is a devout Christian, posted on Instagram and Twitter that hell awaits for drunks and homosexuals. One of Australian rugby's biggest stars has been sacked over homophobic social media posts. Wallabies fullback Israel Folau, who is a devout Christian, posted on Instagram and Twitter that hell awaits for drunks and homosexuals. His contract was terminated this morning after he was found guilty of a high-level breach of the Professional Players Code of Conduct.
While Rugby Australia accepts the panel's decision directing termination of Israel Folau's playing contract for his high-level breach of the Code of Conduct, we want to stress that this outcome is a painful situation for the game. Rugby Australia did not choose to be in this situation, but Rugby Australia's position remains that Israel, through his actions, left us with no choice but to pursue the course of action resulting in today's outcome. There's been an extremely challenging period for rugby, and this issue has created an unwanted distraction in an important year for the sport and for the Wallabies team.
Well, in a statement, the 30-year-old said, "It has been a privilege and an honour to represent Australia and my home state of New South Wales, playing the game I love. I'm deeply saddened by today's decision to terminate my employment, and I am considering my options. As Australians, we are born with certain rights, including the right to freedom of religion and the right to freedom of expression. I believe it is my duty as a Christian to share God's word. Upholding my religious beliefs should not prevent my ability to work or play for my club and country." Let's speak to Andrea Williams, who is Chief Executive at Christian Concern, and Michael Walker, who is a journalist and LGBT commentator. Hello to you both. Andrea Williams, to you first. Rugby Australia saying they were left with no choice. They had no option but to sack Israel Folau.
It's extraordinary, isn't it, that Raymond Castle then said, for inclusion, rugby is a sport of inclusion, but we're going to exclude Israel Folau because he's a Christian, because he holds these views. Israel Folau is an extraordinary person, an extraordinary man of faith who posts many posts on media, on social media, and he says continually, I'm a sinner, I'm in need of salvation. That's the kind of thing he posts. Today he was posting that he loves God, that he wants to serve God, that he loves the game, that he posts very often about being saved from where he once was, and the hope that he's found in Jesus Christ, and that's the hope that he wants to point everybody to. And actually, he's a man full of love and care for everyone. He's not singling out anyone here, he's putting out there the message that he believes in. And furthermore, not just that, he's a man who believes, but he's a man who plays rugby incredibly well. So well, in fact, that he was Player of the Year in 2015, 2016, 2017. He's the triple try scorer in Super League rugby. He's an extraordinary person with an extraordinary faith. And is Rugby Australia really saying, in the name of inclusion, we're going to exclude the best player, we're going to exclude someone of that calibre because he's a Christian, because he believes in the Bible, because that's what they've done. It's serious.
I just want to pick you up on one thing you said there, Andrea Williams, before we get the views of Michael Walker. You said that he wasn't singling anyone out. But he was, wasn't he? He said hell awaits for drunks, homosexuals, adulterers, liars, fornicators, thieves, atheists and idolaters. Is he not singling out all of those groups and saying that hell awaits them?
And then, pretty much all of us can fall into those various brackets at various points. And he goes on to talk about us all being sinners in other posts that are linked to that. The point is, the message of the Bible is a message, of course, that is rooted at the heart of Western society, at the heart of Great Britain, at the heart of Australia, is that we have all sinned, we've all fallen short of the glory of God. We don't live up to our own standards, let alone God. That's the message. And the message of Jesus Christ is that he loves us and he forgives each one of us, and that we might find hope in him. It's a wonderful, beautiful, freeing, forgiving message. And, social media is a bit of a blunt instrument, but he's on that social media all the time, expressing his views, just like so many people out there. And
Michael Walker, let's get your views. And now, was he sacked for his faith and for expressing his views?
I think it's important to make some distinctions. So he wasn't sacked because of his beliefs. If he just believed that homosexuals are going to go to hell, I think that was a shame, but I don't think that should exclude him from his profession. It's that he broadcast these beliefs. So he broadcast them to over 100,000 people on Twitter and over 300,000 people on Instagram. He has those followers because of his role as a rugby player. And so I think the Australian Rugby Association had every right to say that he has a duty, given that he's representing Australian rugby, to not use discriminatory language and to not spread ideas which will make many young gay people watching rugby who look up to him feel incredibly unwelcome in the sport, and potentially it could have impacts that are quite severe on their life if that makes them feel they're unable to come out to their parents and their friends. This is the kind of thing that can really destroy lives. I also want to go back to this idea that the message of Christianity is that we're all sinners. So I'm not religious, I'm not an expert on religion, but how I interpret that is we've all made mistakes and we can move on from them. Now, I don't consider homosexuality a mistake. Yeah, so some people might say, yes, I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen, it's a sin, I will repent and make up for that. That's not how we should think about homosexuality. If some people do, that doesn't mean you should get fired from your job, but broadcasting it, I think in this case, does.
Or doesn't that get us into an argument about freedom of speech and expression then?
Well, I don't think it should be against the law to broadcast these kind of ideas, but I think if you are a very successful, very famous person in a public-facing role, and the organisation that employs you has every right to say that by you using discriminatory language publicly and by using the platform that ultimately your involvement in that sport and that organisation provides you, then they have every right to say, this is not the image we want of our sport being portrayed, this is discriminatory, this is the kind of thing that will exclude homosexual people from getting involved in rugby, from supporting rugby. And also, I mean, as I say, I think this has a broader impact on society at large. If this is the kind of thing that's acceptable, well, as I say, I think it should be legal to say it, but I think it shouldn't be acceptable for people who are in very powerful, influential positions to be able to spread this kind of thing without consequence.
Yeah, Andrew Williams, he was...
Right, okay. I'll chop it up there just so that it don't look like we're watching a movie off of Sky News is back, because YouTube and all these people, when they get upset, they just like to come in straight, and we're trying to keep on the safe side of the line right here, okay, family, so they don't push this channel off the airwaves again. So you've heard some of the points that have been made, and the narrative, almost a scripted narrative really, where we're not allowed to speak our minds anymore, family. And all this yabba dabba do about where we can speak and where we can't speak, it's just a whole lot of BS when you really look at it. And we mean BS at the highest order, because I really don't understand what they're going to do with all the pastors who use social media to preach. We've said for too long now anyway, pastors don't really care about the Bible, because you won't see none of them coming out to speak up for this young man. This young man himself was, I believe, he left a sinful life, I think, according to his own explanation, left a sinful life, turned to, quote unquote, Jesus Christ and quote unquote God. I hope he doesn't come at me and say, Brother Ty, you telling me God is the devil? Yeah, I say God is the devil. If God wasn't the devil, how come a whole Christian nation can't stand up for God? It's madness. Family, come on, vote with me. Is God the devil or not? Give me a 1 if God is the devil. And give me a 2 if you think God is not the devil. Because look, it's a Christian nation. It's Australia, right? It's a Christian nation, come out of England, biblical old England, King James, and they can't even stand up for this young Christian man. I mean, what's going on, family? Think about it. Where's the voices? Where's the voices coming out for this young man to say, hold on, we can't go down this line. We're Christian. That's our beliefs. Every single person in the country is believed because they're Christians, not because they hate gays. The Bible was never aimed at hating anybody, gays especially. It was aimed at hating sin, and sin we all do. So this young man, and I'm not here trying to defend the young man, I'm just commenting on the situation, all right? And I hope that's what we'll do. So we're inviting right now, we're inviting anyone from the gay community, or somebody who's gay, or somebody who wants to speak out as if they were gay, or somebody who just has a mind to understand their situation. And let's just speak, let's talk about this thing, because it's no use getting upset. Get upset with the system, right? The system is the one that's turned the whole thing into a joke. All right, and Brother Ty has a lot to say about this kind of things, but I don't think this is the time, right? We just want to take these things bite size, one at a time. So we have a situation now. Christianity Australia, where are you? Come on. Where is Christianity Australia? How will Christianity Australia allow this to go down this way? Where's the pastors? This young man plays rugby, and I think they say he does some pastoring, part-time. And I've got a lot to say about all these things, right? We've got a lot to say about all these things. But where are the old generation pastors? Where are they? Where are they? Because we've already said that anyone in Christianity is basically, unfortunately, I mean, look, Brother Ty said it, and this ain't no hate speech, all right? Somebody's gonna say, yeah, well, there's one more of them. Brother Ty's coming out saying this is the devil. Yeah, we've said God is the devil, absolutely. Because if he wasn't, how would if God, if he's truly the creator, like the Australians believe, how come nobody's waking up to say, yeah, all right, let's speak up for this young man, and let's speak up for Christian values? Because every time we talk to Christians, they will remind us that, the West has been beneficial to the world because they built their foundations on Christianity. And, to the casual eye, it looks like they're following the Bible, but they're not. Because where's the Moses right now? Where's the Moses? Where's the Elijah of Christianity saying, yeah, come on, let's take a stand with this brother? We don't agree with some people just saying they hate people, all right? We don't agree with that. And the Bible is not going down that line either, saying they hate people. No. But the Bible is standing up for its own values according to what the Creator says, right? So there's just one option right here, family. All right? Because it's not a hate talk. It's not a hate channel. But what we're saying is, I'm a child. I'm just a child, like many of you out there. And we've been brought up with certain values. All right? There's certain values in the United States, right? If somebody commits murder, they might even put the person to death, right? They might put this person to death. So if somebody went on social media and says all murderers are gonna go to hell, or go to the what's it called, to the chair, it sounds really hateful. Trust me, it really sounds hateful. It may not sound hateful to you, but to that criminal, it sounds like hate. Like, these people really hate me. And if you've ever watched a criminal being strapped to the chair or given lethal injection to take their life because they've taken somebody's life, even though some of them come out and say it was a mistake or they were even innocent, the government don't want to know. They're going to read the Bible for you and still put you to death. Because they quote the Bible and say an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. That's what they say. And they say they're using the Bible and the word of God, they say, they're using it to curb crime. They're using it to curb crime. But who defines crime? Who defines crime? They say God does. They say God did. They say the Bible does. They say the Bible did. So which crimes did the Bible say? And which crimes suddenly are not allowed anymore? Now, if you're gay listening to this, don't get emotional, please. Hear what I'm saying. I'm speaking from a neutral standpoint right here. And you, even as a gay person, you should ask yourself these same questions. Come on. Because trust me, if you don't, they're going to reverse it on you one day soon. They're going to reverse it back on you or your community one day soon. All right? Whenever you seem to be getting protection, make sure the protection is balanced out. Is it the right kind of protection? Because if you take the wrong type of protection, it's called bribery. It's just a matter of time before they come for you as well. I mean, look at what we got right there. We got, we got the Muslim brethren. A lot of the times when we talk about religion, they will say we're hating on their religion, or we're hating on their prophet, or we're hating on them. They turn their religion sometimes into a racial thing. And I'm like, look, brother, this has nothing to do with your race or your color. We're all in the same boat here. We're all in the same boat here. Sometimes we talk so hard. It's the white families that get the brunt of it. They feel like, Brother Ty is being racist or he's racial. No, it's not that. But how else do we explain the thing? How else do we explain the thing? There's an identity group for everything. There's an identity group in everything. What do we do now? What do we do? We need to speak somehow. How are we going to solve out these problems? Look, there's a situation creeping upon us right now with the let me see if I put myself on the what's it called, on the show right now, the camera. All right, let me see if I can get myself on the camera right now. Where are we here? Okay, all right, let's see, we'll move this one up a little bit. Okie dokie. So let me see how I get this in. All right, give me a second, family. I'm gonna resume my chat in a second. Okay, so I'm not in that studio there, just in case someone thinks I'm a third person in that studio there. I definitely ain't in there. Right, so, okay. So, our rights to speak is by and large a product of our society, right? Our society, our culture, our governments, they've told us what to think and how to think and what to say and how to say, where to say. And some of us grew up in the old ways and our minds are set. Like they say, you can't teach a old dog new tricks. Okay, and many of us are from that old dog kind of era. The new generation right now, they're being taught their own stuff, but who knows what they're going to be told 20 years down the line. They might be told 20 years down the line, like, look, you can't say what we told you to say in 2019 anymore. Now the goalposts have moved, and you need to toe the line. All right, you need to toe the line now, and be respectful, and be this and be that. All right. And people are going to be like, well, why do you spend so much time? Why do you spend so much time teaching us to be what we've become, only to tell us 10 minutes later, 10 years later, 20 years later, we can't say what you told us, taught us, and you know, sculpted us. You sculpted us into this beautiful thing or ugly thing. And now you want us to just like replace our minds, change your mind, call repentance. They want us to repent. So you have this young sportsman saying, and not only him, his whole community, they call them the Pacific Islanders. I believe they're in the hundreds of thousands, you know, so-called ethnic minorities down under. And they play rugby like nobody else. So they seem to have a kind of power to say, well, we're all Christians. And the funny thing is, the white folk down under probably introduced them to make them into Christianity. Now they're Christians. You've taught them to be Christians. Now you're telling them they can't even believe. Because look, if somebody can't repeat what they believe, they possibly can't even believe that thing. How are you going to believe something and not be able to say it out? Where do you say it then? Where are you going to speak? They say don't speak on social media. Well, what else do we have? We only have social media right now. How are we going to do it? Burn the Bible is what I say. Burn the Bible. Who wants to see the Bible burn? Give me a number 3 if you want to see the Bible burn. Come on, family. Am I being heard right now? If you want to see the Bible burn, give me a number 3. Because what else do we do? Come on. I know Brother Ty sounds... What's it Brother Ty saying? Come on, brother. Why are you saying that? Burn the Bible. Well, you better face reality, family. If you can't even think of it right now, you'll see it happening in a bit. You'll see the Bible being burned in front of your eyes by governments, and you'll be like, boy, I wish I was ready for that. I wish I was ready for that. Because there's no other angle that we're gonna be able to turn to right now. You can see how quiet the pastors have become. The pastors have become so quiet. None of them is speaking. Why is this young footballer, why is he the spokesperson for God? Well, why is he the spokesperson for God? A victim twice. Is a minority group, believes in so-called, God, takes it from the teachers who made us into, who made the colored people into subservient Christians, and then he helps you to propagate your religion, and now you're punishing him in front of the whole world for being what you taught him to be. You made him to become that thing. Somebody got to pay the brother. Somebody has to pay the brother. Come on, I'm just speaking secular here. Somebody has to pay the brother. I think the brother should go to court and ask the white Western world who Christianized him to pay him back, because this is too much. Brother Ty just we just having a sideways look at this thing. We humoring the situation right now. How else do you do this thing? What now? If you can't even talk about your faith. Look, in his post, he's mentioned not only gay people, he's mentioned drunks, fornicators, adulterers, liars, gay. He's basically mentioned all of us, all right? Every one of us who sins. For some reason, the gay voice has been the biggest voice. And look, like I said before, I don't hate gay people. I don't. Come on. And it's not about hating anybody for that matter. It's about just looking at our social custom, our history on the earth, what they've done to our minds. And now they want us to just change that in 1 second. That's what we're talking about here. All right? Because trust me, when we would sit down, a group of gay, lesbian, transgender, and so on people, they would have their own hang-ups about certain things as well. And one day the government's going to come and tell them they can't speak about it. They can't say that. They can't say this. Trust me, family, soon you won't even be able to show your teeth anymore. You can't show your teeth. You can't even speak anything. The only people who will be allowed to speak anything be the baton carrying policemen, or soldiers for that matter, with so-called helmets, because they're gonna beat down anybody who don't agree with them. So, question now is Australia still a Christian country? Is there any Australian out there? Any Australian out there, family? Any Australian out there at all want to come on the show, talk to us? Want to come on the show and talk to us? Or is there any Christian out there? Because my position is that Christianity is a fraud. So I better say it quickly before they say it's not allowed to be said. Because guess what? They're going to tell us one day it's not allowed to say that. Christianity is a fraud. If it's not a fraud, where's the Christians standing up right now? Where are they?
Outside.
Why can't they come up and defend the Bible? They're not going out there saying we hate gay people. I don't support that. I don't support that at all. I don't support coming out. Anyone coming out saying they hate anybody. No, I don't support that. But what we're saying is, what's going on when we won't be able to speak our minds anymore? I'm sure there's things that gay people hate. because it's all under the guise of hate speech right now. All right, hate speech, not even hate action. Yeah, all right. It'd be easy to arrest somebody who maybe attacks somebody because of their race, color, nationality, religion, sex, or what, gender, or stuff like that. It'd be easy to arrest somebody who attacks somebody based on any of these criteria. But to start making people into criminals who lose their jobs, lose their livelihoods, and look like a social pariah, a global pariah, because of just expressing their freedom of speech, I'm sure even gay people wouldn't like that happening to them. I'm sure they wouldn't. So it's a double-edged sword right now. All right, it's a double-edged sword whereby it's imperative to protect the humanity of everybody. I'll start with that. It's imperative to protect the humanity of everybody. And in this our little shallow case here, and I say shallow with all due respect, because there are other issues also around the world that doesn't get airtime. All right, but our shallow situation here is we are fighting each other on a subhuman level about people's sexuality. That's one. And two, that is then coming to face off the biblical enshrined narrative, which has been there for aeons. And listen, every sin is as old as the Bible. All right, every sin is as old as the Bible, or the Bible is as old as every condition, every human condition. Let me put it that way. The Bible is as old as every human condition, and no one negative human condition is better than the other. No one sin is better than the other. All right. In some cultures, one sin seems to be bigger than another one. All right, and we can give examples of that. All right, but on the whole, according to the Creator, sin is the same word, sin, 3 letters. That's it, done and out. But now, funny thing is, an amazing thing is, there are Christian gay people, or there are gay Christian people also. There are Bible loving gay people, or gay people, or homosexuals, or LGBT, or all the other sexual groups out there, or sexuality groups out there, who also believe in the Bible. All right, let me try and put that in a different way. All right, in the Christian community, there are many people of other affiliations or other subgroups, which is like groups that would be traditionally frowned upon by the Christian faith. All right, and whilst we're talking about this sexuality choice called a lifestyle and so on, we're zooming in on the gay, lesbian, and so on and so forth. We're zooming in on that. But in the traditional sense of Christianity, that's not allowed. In the so-called new age of Christianity, there are gay people, just to use that general word as a covering right here, there are gay people in the so-called Christian church. But what I don't understand, and I would like to ask, is what are those gay people's views when it comes to the question of what sin is? What is sin then? Because Israel Folau put out a tweet or a message on his, I don't know, Instagram or Twitter, or which one was it, Facebook, saying that everybody or anyone in the groups he mentioned, like drunks, liars, fornicators, adulterers, and so on, and gays, that anybody in those groups is going to hell. All right. Now, his reason or his statement is based on biblical concepts, all right? Not Christian concept, but biblical concepts, all right? Because even a Muslim can read the same concepts out of the Bible, all right, and even go into their own religion and read it out. So it's just a biblical concept, all right? So gay people, there are hundreds, if not maybe millions of gay people, I mean, across the whole board, or across the whole range of names, who are also Christian. Some are out, some are not out, all right? But they go to church, and some of them are mature people right now where they've been liberated maybe by their society or by their bravery. They've come out and said, look, I'm gay, deal with it, all right? So some of them are in some of these Christian communities and Christian churches. Now, while they may sit in the Christian churches and Christian communities, do they actually subscribe to the Bible? So let's just say the Christian community has accepted equality between the brethren, to say, okay, brother who is gay, brother who is straight, we're all sinners, we're all the same. Now, how do you read the Bible as a gay person? Is there anything called sin anymore, according to the Bible creator, who you call God? Is there anything called sin anymore? Is there sin in the Bible anymore? Because if you point your finger at any sin, I'm not saying at anybody, I'm saying at a sin. At any sin, there's always going to be somebody at the end of it. So if you're a gay person out there, lesbian, gay, LGBT, and so on and so forth, and if you're a Christian and you believe in the Bible, and look, trust me, I'm not trying to have a go at you. I do not hate you. You can probably tell I'm listening. I'm trying to listen to you, but I'm trying to reason with you at the same time. Now, if you're gay or lesbian or LGBT and what's your other name, if you're of that background, for you, is there anything called sin in the Bible that you carry? And if there is, what is that sin? Who says it's a sin? What's the punishment for it biblically? Is there a punishment for that sin? What are the conditions attached to that sin? What's the is there salvation for anybody in the Bible? Is there salvation for any group of person from within the Bible narrative? Will there be salvation? Did Christ so-called die for our sins? Which sins did he die for? Can any gay person enlighten me? And I'm not saying that to put you on the spot or to hate you. I'm saying that for us to just have a look at something. Look, like I've said, I'm going to put it out there again. If there's anybody who's gay who feels like they need to talk to me, you can come on a one-to-one. You can come on a one-to-one to me in a time off air, all right? You want to talk to me? Listen, I'm doing love and truth right here, all right? I'm doing love and truth right here. If you want to talk to me about a situation and ask me questions, ask me even for guidance or for spiritual or moral or I don't know, any kind of support, you can talk to me. Even if you want to fly in my face and tell me, what I've said is wrong, do talk to me. Because trust me, these are questions that some people still have. And it's important for you. I don't support any violence against anybody for any reason. And look, me who's talking, I've been on the end of all types of violence myself. All right, so I understand. So what we're saying here is nobody's standing up for somebody who's just like you, who's been told all his life and throughout his own culture that what he believes is right, and not only should he believe it, but please propagate it, teach it. And trust me, if you're gay out there, you need to get into the mind of this kind of people, this kind of man like Israel Folau. You need to get into his mindset. You need to understand that he's not coming from a point of hatred, but he may be coming from a point of passion with him teaching the book, because the book does command us to contend for the faith and to be holy and to live righteous and to stay away from sin and so on and so forth, and to pull our brothers out of sin when we see one going astray. The book says all of those things. And this brother was just a child 20 years ago or something, 30 years ago. He was just a child. He came into that understanding, he came into that belief before all this madness of social media and political correctness and hate speech started. So you got to be able to get into his mindset to see that he don't hate you. It's not him you need to be looking at. All right. Somebody says that there's static on the line. Thanks for that. Tell me if it gets better, please. I don't know why. I'm using a kind of long cable mic at the moment. You can see me holding it. So let me know if it gets worse. Yeah. So what I'm saying is we need to get into each other's minds to find out why we hold the views we have. Is it really hatred? I know that some people don't mean hatred, but at the end of the day, comments coming from somebody like Christian, from Israel Folau, it might be fueling hatred amongst ignorant and vicious, vile, violent people who don't have any love for humanity and only have hate and want to project their hatred and project their own hurts onto other people. So yeah, in one way, Israel Folau needs to be a more responsible ambassador with compassion. I'm not saying he needs to drop truth. No way. Truth cannot be dropped for me, for you, or even for gay people. Because trust me, family, even gay people have their own truths that they will not let go. And if they find themselves in a community that is against their truths, they better stand up for those truths. And this is what this is all about in one way or the other. Everybody stands up for one truth or the other. It's impossible to not stand up for your truths. But one day you're going to be at a place where your truth will be insignificant to another truth. And then you'll understand that, boy, this is how it is. Your truth can be established without somebody else's being decimated. That's just how it is. So at one point, Christianity came into all the jungles of Africa, Asia, the Pacific, and all these places, and told them they have to stop doing what they're doing. And they call them names. They call them all kinds of things. Let me get. Where's my little book? There's a little funny book I have here. All right. Let me get this book quickly for you, family. All right. Now I got a book like this one right here. Okay. I got a little book like this one here, and it's a funny book. You need to read it. It's an old book. I don't see if you can see the title right there. Okay. It says The Church and the Primitive Peoples. Yeah? The Church and Primitive Peoples. The Church and Primitive Peoples. Somebody got away with this hate speech. All right? Somebody got away with this hate speech years ago. Let me just get the date again. Give me a second. Yeah, it's 1938. Somebody got away with this hate speech. The hate speech is about 400 pages. Yeah, more than that. 400 pages of hate speech. 400 pages of hate speech. All right? All in the name of the church. All right? There you go. All in the name of the church. It's a book from the 1930s. Now, if we went into that book, some of you would just be like, what? We're not even allowed to read some of the stuff in the book right now. It'd be considered hate speech. I'm not even allowed to read some of the stuff in the book to say, well, you know what? So and so described primitive peoples, always the dark people of the earth, are described as primitive, beasts, monsters, boogeymen, and pagans, and everything. They call us everything in the book. So it's the same mindset of teachers that came to teach Israel Folau and his community how to be so-called quote-unquote good Christians. All right? Now he became a good Christian. 100 years down the line, you tell him to change his views. How's he going to do that now? Christianity has become the cornerstone of their community, and they have to follow all the values, because guess what? Brown and black people of the earth, they take the Bible serious. The Bible is really serious. So what I'm asking right now is, we want the white people, the white Australians, to come to this man's defense. You know, that's just Brother Ty. I'm not asking for what's it called, an uprising. Nobody gonna listen to me anyway. But I'm asking for a show of hands to see who still believes in the Bible that they carry around in the West. Where are all the white pastors? Where are they? Why can't they come out and support this brother? Why can't they come out? Where are the heads of Christianity? Because they don't know what to say. If they came out, they don't know what to say. They can't both defend Christianity and defend being gay at the same time, because the two don't go together. The two don't go together. I'm not saying that. Like I said, it's not about hate, but the two just don't go together. The two don't go together. Look, there's a time in this country, England, when it was a crime, right? It was a crime to be gay. It was a crime to be gay. Then suddenly, it wasn't a crime anymore. It's now all right for priests, bishops, pastors, and whatever. Same-sex marriage among the clergy. It's now okay. So it's gone from being a crime. I think it was punishable by death and many, many years of whatever. But it's now become a fashion that anybody can choose, and you just enjoy yourself. So when they brought those laws in hundreds of years ago, they said it was God who laid down that law. So suddenly, God don't matter anymore. And we're told we have to change our minds. But some of us can't change our minds. It's too hard. How are you going to change your mind? How are you going to do that? And what's the guarantee that after they ask you to change your mind today, they won't ask you to change it again tomorrow? What's the guarantee that they won't ask you to change your mind again tomorrow? And some of us, we ain't even going to change our mind anyway, because we're stuck on this truth of eternal life, of eternal love and eternal life. And we love all peoples. We don't have a hate for one section of society because of this or that. No, we're fighting for everybody to get into the kingdom. Now listen, let me preach a little bit right here. If you're gay or in that category, my hope for you is that you can get into the kingdom that is opposed to going to hell. If you believe it. If you don't believe it, it don't have to hurt you. That's one other thing. If you don't believe in the Bible, because some of the people who are gay out there don't actually believe in the Bible. They're atheists. They think the Bible is rubbish or a lie. So why are you even taking the message serious? All right, I see the point. Some of you could say it's fueling physical action, hatred out there. So all right, that's a fair point. But then I could say that all the movies that we've been watching, that we keep watching every day, is fueling violence out there as well. For example, we might hear President Trump say Iran is stockpiling weapons of mass destruction. That could fuel hate. That could fuel hate, and in many cases it does. We go to war. Iraq is stockpiling weapons of mass destruction. There's no evidence, but we still went to war and killed so many. And so many haven't recovered from that right now. And then we watch movies. Movies are always polarizing people. You know, they call the Chinese terrorists, they call the Russians bomb makers, they call the Italians mafia, they call the Africans pagans and Ebola and HIV and AIDS, they call black people drug dealers and criminals, and they call white people Jesus and God. Come on, look at the polarization, the pros and the cons of free speech. But nobody, for any reason, calls all these things hate speech. All these movies you see out there are hate speech. You remember all these stupid movies we used to watch, stuff that derogate fat people, for example, that makes fun of fat people. You know, makes fun of fat people, makes fun of ugly people, or movies that only promote beauty when it's white, slim, beautiful people. What about all the ugly people who feel hard done by? They're not teaching that in schools, to say ugly people are beautiful too. They never teach that. Ads will not sell. Advertisements will not sell. What about disabled people? You never see them being in ads? Come on, hypocrisy is too much. So look, if you're gay and you're feeling some pain right now, I'm with you. But I want you to go one step further. I want you to look beyond your own battle right now, and let's dig deeper to the truth of this matter. Because I can tell you that at the end of the day, it boils down to social engineering, social conditioning. It's nothing to do with any private war. All right? So that's the reality of it. And I'm inviting people who are of any other affiliation. I want us to talk and to talk about these things a little bit clearly so we can get an idea of what's going on. Let me play a little bit more of that clip, and then maybe we'll try and round up, because I'm trying to keep this to 1 hour, which I think we're going off. We gone off the thing already, so people can watch a little bit. These 4-hour videos puts people up, I can tell you that. Let's watch a little bit more of that video, yeah, and we'll try and round up. Okay, so let me take myself off of here. Let's watch that thing a little bit more. Okay, so thanks again to Sky TV. This is just for news and reporting and education purposes. Okay.
Playing for Australia, he was representing Australia, and as such he had signed a contract.
Using the platform that ultimately your involvement in that sport and that organisation provides you, then they have every right to say, this is not the image we want of our sport being portrayed, this is discriminatory, this is the kind of thing that will exclude homosexual people from getting involved in rugby, from supporting rugby. And also, I mean, as I say, I think this has a broader impact on society at large. If this is the kind of thing that's acceptable, well, as I say, I think it should be legal to say it, but I think it shouldn't be acceptable for people who are in very powerful, influential positions to be able to spread this kind of thing without consequence.
Andrew Williams, he was playing for Australia, he was representing Australia, and as such he had signed a contract and he had signed up to a code of conduct, and this was a breach of that code of conduct. He's a role model, and he was expressing views that are not socially acceptable.
So believing in the Bible is not socially acceptable. Believing in the Bible means that you breach Australia's rugby code of conduct. That's very serious. That's a very serious offence.
It's not about believing in the Bible. It's not about what you believe. It's about what you say publicly.
You can believe it, but you can't say it. That's not the world that we live in. So the head of Qantas is permitted to fly the rainbow flag, to push and pay for major campaigns in Australia. But a man who believes the Bible loses his job, loses his position in rugby.
Where does the Bible specifically say that hell awaits someone who is homosexual?
Well, we're taught through the Bible, through the whole message of the Bible, is about the message of the hope and the forgiveness and the redemption that is found in Jesus Christ. And the reality is that God has set eternity in the hearts of each one of us. And that the hope of heaven awaits. That actually, after this earthly life, there is heaven and hell. That's a reality for us. And Jesus Christ sent his only Son to die for each one of us on the cross, to forgive us for our sins, that we might know him and know him for eternity. That's a message of great hope, which has been preached, which people lose their lives for, the taking of the gospel across the world. And one of the ways in which today people are spreading the good news of the gospel is through social media. And sometimes, people can take offence at it, people do it in different ways, but that was the motivation. The motivation of Israel Folau was that he had known what it was not to know the Lord Jesus Christ, not to know God. And his motivation generally, because you've got to take this from a man who broadcasts on social media a lot, in the context of years of social media posts, this man is seeking to bring the hope of Jesus Christ to those that follow him as a most fantastic rugby player.
Michael Walker, those voices like Israel Folau's are being silenced. Is that right?
Well, have they been silenced? I think Israel Folau should be welcome to talk about any aspect of his religion he likes on social media, unless it's discriminatory, and when it is discriminatory, he can expect some kind of consequence from his employer. This is very, very different from the state banning anyone expressing their opinions. This is about him saying something as a role model, which will have incredibly negative consequences in society at large. There are, again, a number of points said there that I think it is worth challenging. So this idea that this is a necessary part of religion. I don't want to get into a debate about theology, but we do know that there are strands of Christianity and all the great religions which preach inclusiveness for people depending on their sexuality, which, as we know, is not a choice. So I think it's a great shame that there are strands and branches of religion which are teaching that homosexuals go to hell, not least for people who are part of those religions and will inevitably, statistically, we know there will be many people in every single religion who are homosexual, and that would be incredibly difficult to hear, to have preached that you're going to go to hell.
I'm really sorry, I know there's plenty we want to get to, but we're running out of time. Michael, Andrea, thank you both very much indeed.
Right. Okay, family.
And class.
Right. Okay. So there you go again. I think the points that have come out of that last clip of the video basically is that if you're a Christian or a Bible believing person, then your voice is going to be one of hatred, because there will be some parts of society, be they justified or not, who will consider it or construe it as hate speech, one, and two, whatever we say in public especially might be taken by some mindless people to go and commit violent crimes or maltreat people of a different section of society. So that's the case that's being made against Bible believers at the moment. So, but everyone who's got their eyes open can actually see that that's not going to be the only extension that they're going to do with this kind of allegation. They're going to extend it to any other type of speech sooner or later. And at the moment, I don't even want to start using my head to start thinking about it. I'm actually intending that we must be able to bring up a list, like we've said before, when we used to just debate with Muslims, and Muslims just go off quickly saying, "Oh, you hate us, you just hate us, you hate people, you hate Muslims." We don't hate you, all right? We just got a difference of opinion, and trust me, if some of the things that we call debates over here in the West, if it was done in some other countries, it would be a death sentence immediately. And so that victim over there who's getting a death sentence might just say, oh, this is a hatred. Because, I mean, I don't know what else you could call that. In Saudi Arabia, for example, if they catch you, I don't know what, manufacturing alcohol or whatever, you get the death sentence. If they catch you dealing with illegal drugs, you get the death sentence, beheading by sword. Over here in the UK, they give you a nice cushy prison. Alright, it's a nice cushy prison with a DVD and video player and maybe a mobile phone, so you can order some more. Over here it's not called hate, but if you go and do that over in Saudi Arabia, you'll soon find out what real hate is. Now, I don't know how and when the governments of this Western world are gonna tell the people of the Eastern world, especially of the other faiths, to agree with them on the things they agree with. But we know it's coming, alright? And I got a little document which we shared once upon a time over here, alright? But I don't know if I want to spend that much time today because of the video. I don't want it to get too long. It's already 1 hour 20 minutes, so I'll keep it at maybe under 2 hours so people can watch, and that's still long, you know. So anyway, we have that situation there where now we're seeing clearly that Christians will not be able to speak their mind in public or on platforms, and that's got to absolutely take a toll on so-called pastors or evangelizing pastors who use social media, Facebook and the like, YouTube, to propagate the words in the Bible. That's going to be, in fact, it's not going to stop only there. If they really want to be real about this, all the TV stations that teach the Bible are going to have to shut down as well. They're going to have to shut down. Because I tell you what, anybody can consider because look, sin is still in the same Bible. Not only for gay people, but for all sin. So sinners, if sinners went the same way as gay people, and to be honest, this excuse by gay spokespeople or the LGBT spokespeople, it's usually the spokespeople who seem to have the bigger problem, all right? But when we really look at it, Israel Folau is not singling out only gay people. The Bible is not singling out only gay people. The Bible is singling out all of us who are sinners. It's a reminder to everyone. The reminder of a punishment or hell is to all of us. Be you any sin you have, that reminder is to all of us. So why would I now go and complain to I don't know who? I don't know who now, the religion Tsar, to say to him, look, I think they've just made hate speech against me because I'm a drunk. They've made hate speech against me because I'm an adulterer. They've made hate speech against me because I'm a liar. They've made hate speech against me because I'm a this, I'm a that. So I want that person punished as if I was a gay person. Because it's the same thing. Come on, family. If you agree with me, type in number 1 for me there. If you agree what I'm just said is right. Any member of society can make the same complaint right now against anybody, because you can say the same way a gay person feels that they should be protected against violence, ridicule and discrimination and fear, or the allegations that they're worthy of hellfire, the same way I feel that I've been hard done by Christian pastors or Muslim pastors preaching against me that I'm going to hell, because it's the same hell for every sin. Now, if every single group starts to push forward their claims for compensation, for punitive compensation on the speaker or the maker of such statement, what's going to be left of any of us? So what we're seeing right now, if we really look carefully, is that we're seeing a stronger arm of the gay spokespeople, and I'm not saying one particular person, we're just seeing a certain power behind the gay movement. That gay hand is showing the strongest. But don't forget that if we want to go by the Bible, being gay is just one of many sins. Being gay is one of many sins. So what about all the other sins? Is that all right for people to criticize them? Is that all right? Would that be all right for people to criticize those sins and not criticize the gay sin if we take gayism to be sin? I hope you're hearing me. I hope somebody don't go and say, yeah, Brother Ty is still saying gay is a sin. Well, according to the Bible says it is. If I'm following the Bible, according to the Bible, I would say it is. The same way I would say what you don't like as a gay person in this society, you would say it's a crime if somebody says being gay is not right. Now, I could say that's hate speech too, because you got to hate me if you want me being punished. You just have to hate me. You can't love me. So that's hate speech too. But what do? We've been sect. They've put these things in our minds one way or the other, and now they're asking us to remove it. It's impossible. So every sin is a sin. If every community of sinners were to make a complaint, the Bible, the Quran, churches, synagogues, temples, all of them have to be shut down. So you can see the point right now. All of them will have to be shut down. And then for the Muslim brethren and the Muslim community who used to say until now that everything a Christian says, especially a knowledgeable Christian, everything he says against them is hate speech, well, they're finding themselves on the receiving end right now with the what's this thing now, with the LGBT education that wants to go into schools right now. Like in England right now, it's big news. All right, somewhere up in Birmingham right now, it looks like it's only the Muslims who are protesting against what they consider to be a homosexual, pro-homosexual, pro-LGBT, pro-transgender type of education that's being pushed on their children. It's being pushed on children, where the schools are going to require from next year, every children's school is going to require that children learn about homosexual relationships and every other gender type of relationship, same-sex relationships. Children in schools are going to be required to learn and to be taught and probably to repeat all those things. Now, the Muslim community are the only one who are very outspoken against this, because it harms their own ideologies. And before any Muslim starts to say, oh, Baba Tai, here you go, are you saying what we did is wrong? No, I'm saying as a Bible believer, it harms me too. It harms me too. So we're together on that one. Muslim and Christian and Israelites, we're together on that one. But guess what they call you Muslims now when you say you have a problem with that education? Guess what they call in Muslims now? They're now calling the Muslims up in Birmingham homophobic. Now the Muslims are having to defend themselves that no, we're not homophobic. We just don't agree with those values being taught to our children at such a young age. So now it's like, guess what? Everybody's a hater. Everybody is a hater. Somebody do me a favor right there. We're going to 789 this one. Everybody is a hater right now. You get me, family? Everybody is becoming a hater right now. Ain't that true? Everybody is becoming a hater. Everybody is being labeled a hater. How are we gonna get away from it? Everybody is now a hater. I'll do a 7-8 now. Everybody is now a hater. We did say this before. We did warn the Muslims against this before. The Muslims have enjoyed calling everybody Islamophobic. Now the Muslims are being called homophobic. Ain't that crazy, family? Crazy, right? This is crazy. We've gone from, I don't even know how to write this. I just don't know how to write this, family. It's just crazy. Crazy. So now the Muslims would be looking to join the Christian group now. Yeah, the Muslims will be looking to join the Christian and Israelite group now, because that's the only way they're going to get their voices boosted. Because it don't look like, honestly, seriously, as much as we don't like speaking about color and race, it doesn't look like the white people in Birmingham are bothered. They don't look bothered at all. So, Yanu, what are you doing out of your bed? Quiet. So we got a situation right now where the Muslims are the ones feeling the heat of their children being taught something that goes against their beliefs. And they're going to be looking now for people to talk with them, to join with them now. And they can only call on the Christians and the Israelites and the Jews. And one thing you would have found, family, is that this madness of teaching young children, and listen, if you're gay or LGBT or anything like that out there, this is not a hate channel. Brother Ty ain't spewing hate to nobody, trust me. In fact, if I could, I want to leave everybody in their own space. Everybody's free to practice what they want. Just let me be in my own space, practice what I want. I really have no problem. So I couldn't hate nobody. Guess why? Because I would be in my own space. My, little space, I'll be there. Don't teach me what to believe. I won't teach you what to believe. That's what I've always said from the beginning, family. I've always said, like, if Muslims really believe, and this is not me saying, this is not me taking a jibe at Muslim family. This is me just being straight up. I've said, if Muslims really believe, that this country, for example, or the West, is teaching anti-values to their values, what's the point of them staying in that place, calling themselves Muslims? It don't make sense. You hear what I'm saying, family? It just don't make sense. Now, what I've said is coming to fore. What I've said is now making sense. It's saying for Israelites, are we going to sit down in Babylon and be holy? And how are you going to complain when you're the one sitting in there? How are you going to say, oh, excuse me, they've made all the laws, all the rules to force our children to go to that education, which we say we don't like. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, what's the word now? Different strokes. You got your strokes, I got my strokes. The way you want to draw yours is not the way I want to draw mine. Well, why do we even sit together? Why do we sit down together? Come on, government, make it easy for all of us. Send us back to our respective countries. Because it don't make sense. Why are you going to pit black and white and brown and blue together, which from old time has been bad enough? Then you now pit our ideologies together. Now we don't even know what we are anymore. So anyone with their eyes open can see that. Don't go around hating on your brother or your sister. Look at the system. Look at the system. The system is the chaos out of order, right? This is the intention, for us to fight each other, knowing that we can't do anything but fight each other. Because how are we gonna make this work? You want to drive left, I want to drive right. You speak in English, I'm speaking Pashtun. What you say in your language is hate. What I say in my language is hate. So how are we gonna mend? How are we gonna mend anything? So what's my solution? Let everybody go back to their homes. Let each and every one of us go back to their cultures. You can't fight with your own culture, people, can you? If you have one ideology, you can't fight. And if you fight, you're a fool. No point for a fish trying to make rules for a bird. Fish making rules for a bird how to live. You can't work out. Fish, go back to the water and let the bird go back to the air. So I know many Muslim people are thinking right now, yeah, man, you know what? Me take the children back to Pakistan tomorrow morning. Hey, wife, come. We go back to Pakistan. We can't stay here. Me, myself, I'm saying, you know what? Let's go, Africa. Get out of here. I'm not going to sit down teaching my children the things that are absolutely different to my own understanding. The same way the gay, lesbian, and transgender person does not want to be taught something different to their own mindset. It works for everybody. It works for everybody. I wouldn't want to bother nobody. I don't want to disturb nobody. I don't want to disturb gay, lesbian. In fact, if the government really want to make it right, and this could sound very, very crazy. Somebody gonna take this wrong again. But before I even go there, guess what? I tell you what, they cannot force that education on the Jewish community. That's the one community they can't mess with. They can't mess with the Jewish community and force the Jewish community. They're coming to teach LGBT and gay, and they can't. Try it. Go and try it. Because Judaism will disappear in one night. And that's not going to happen. Judaism is going all the way to the end. Every other religion can disappear, but Judaism is going to be till the end. So if you're looking for a new religion, you hear me? Hear what Brother Tai said. I'm not asking you to take a religion, but in case you're one of those who likes jumping from choice to choice, if you're looking for the safest religion to be part of right now, you're going to have to take the Jewish Shahada. You're going to have to take the Jewish Shahada. The Islamic Shahada don't suit your children anymore. Yeah, we got to love everybody, be considerate for everybody, but I don't believe that we need to teach young children that young and put in their minds that kind of anti-life, because in my opinion, we wouldn't be here if we started gay or lesbian or transgender. We couldn't be here. So that is antithetic to life. It opposes life eternal. That's the thing we have with it. That's what the creator. That's why the creator has a problem with it. Because if we went down that route, we wouldn't have children anymore, family. So if you're gay, lesbian, LGBT, that's the reason the creator don't want it. Because if we do it, we won't have children anymore. There's no children no more on this. We can't get children anymore. How are we going to have children? And the funny thing is, when children go to school now, I'm sure they're going to start stopping children from asking a simple question. A simple question to the teacher. Excuse me, miss, how are children made? How are children made? Where do children come from? The teacher better do a right job. Tell the children how children are made. Now, they're saying the reason they want to teach children This education they want to introduce is so that there is no hatred. But if it's anti-hatred that you want to teach, you can do that all day long without introducing sexuality. One brother was even saying on a ITV station, or one of the British TV stations, saying, you know, teaching sexuality is not about sex. I'm saying, is this guy drunk? This guy is drunk. How can you say teaching sexuality or sexuality choices is not about sex? Of course it's about sex. The children know it's about sex. They just don't understand what sex is. And just to let you know, it is about sex. The word sex is in sexuality. The word sex is right in there. And children do know what sex is. They just don't understand it. Children are not dumb. For some reason, they want children to be dumb when it suits them. And when they don't, they say children are not dumb. So when children ask the teacher, where do children come from? Is that supposed to alienate the kids who are in school who have two same parents? Are they not going to get their feelings hurt when they hear the teacher give the answer that children come from a man and a woman and can only come from a man and a woman? Will those children not get hurt still at the end of the day? How are they going to teach biology? How are they going to teach reproduction without hurting some child? If that's the whole point, is to not hurt the child. How are you going to teach all of that? How? So come on, stop lying to yourselves. If the government just want us to believe something, just tell us you want us to believe it. And then tell us to shut up. But don't treat people like fools. So anyway, the Muslims who are putting up a protest in Birmingham, they need to have their voices heard. The same way the gay and lesbian people have their voices heard. I think that's fair. And I'm surprised and kind of, and to be honest, actually, some, white British people have come on TV as well and said, yeah, they don't agree with that education either. They don't agree with it either. In fact, some gay people have come and said even they don't agree with that. So it's not only Christians and Muslims and anti-gay people. It's not about hating on gay people or hating on LGBT. It's not about hate. It's about people's choices at the end of the day. And nobody wants their choices being overrun by nobody else. The same way the United States, the United Kingdom, Europe does not like our way of life to be dictated by China. The same way they don't want their way of life to be dictated by Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Saddam Hussein or Pakistan or Indonesia. The same way everybody has the right to determine what their child learns or not. Because I don't see how a white British child would like to go and sit down at the feet of a Muslim cleric learning how to be a wife at the age of 14, 15, 16, which may be okay in their culture. I don't see how that's going to happen. So look, there's so much to talk about right here, right now. And Brother Ty just wanted to make this a short thing, and just to bring the family in, and let's see how we can roll with this. So there's no hatred. There's absolutely no hatred. I have so much love for people with a different mindset, that what I want to do is leave them in their mindset, and hopefully I can find somewhere to go to do my own mindset. That's the solution that I see to it. That's why I said to the Hebrew Israelites in America, I said, look, the black leaders never wanted you to leave. Now you can see why. Because if you leave, they won't be able to push all this madness. Because guess what? The white people of England, they won't be fighting themselves over this stuff. At the end of the day, if they all look the same, or think the same, or talk the same, there's hardly anything to fight about. But the fight looks better when, there's some Muslims who are from some, backwater countries, and they're not thinking, they're not civilized. They don't understand that to be gay is cool, to be transgender is fashionable and is acceptable, and these people don't. Neither do Africans and Nigerians. We don't see it that way. Africans, Nigerians, Jamaicans, black people all over the earth just don't see it that way either. We see man and woman and babies coming from that, and that's what we promote. That's our mindset. We're probably gonna be like that and die like that. Doesn't matter what they do to us. Some of us will suffer grievously, but what are we gonna do? You can't change what's it called? You can't change a leopard's spots. Can't change a leopard's spots and a tiger's stripes. Will the Ethiopian change his skin color? Impossible. Will the Negro change his afro hair? Impossible. If you see British people with afro hair, English white people with afro hair, it's the end of the world. So, look, guys, humor, some humor, all right? So it's all love, it's all truth, it's all life eternal we're trying to look for right here, all right? So I want to make a little movie, family, all right? I want to make a little movie. The apocalypse is coming at some point, and at the end of the apocalypse, there's four people survived the apocalypse, all right? 4 people survived the apocalypse, and one is a straight man and a straight woman. The other is a gay brother and a lesbian sister. And I'm thinking, after the apocalypse, to restart the world, which one will you choose, family? Even if you're gay and lesbian. And guess what? While we may make some light humor about the whole thing, yeah, because at the end of the day, that's what movies are there for. The moral of the story is what? So it's no hate. I don't hate you because your sexual orientation or your religious background. I don't hate you. I may hate an ideology. I may disagree with an ideology, but that don't equal to hate. Let's not go down that line. Otherwise, if you hate me, that's a hate crime too. If you hate me, it's a hate crime too. How are you going to get away from that? All these people are hating on me. So what we want to say is we want life. We want life. And we need to feel compassionate enough for those who are real victims of bullying and hate mongering in the so-called minority communities, and that includes everybody who is in that minority community, not just the gay, lesbian and transgender community. All right, it includes everybody else who falls under that category, especially the one that Israel Folau was talking about: the gays, drunks, liars, fornicators, adulterers, thieves, jealousy, all of that. This look, they don't even mention sin anymore. What sin is anymore, and that's Christianity for you. But anyway, I'm gonna round up right now, okay? Because I want to just cut it off at the 2-hour mark, and we've gone over there. So what do we do, family? Burn the Bible. Christianity versus gays, and ain't no Australian wanted to come on. Is Australian still a Christian nation? I don't think so. What's your thoughts? Leave your comments and your recommendations in the comment section of this video later on. Should we burn the Bible? Not in hatred, but should we just get rid of it because it's not applicable anymore? When President Obama came in 2000 and what was it? Even he was one of the first people saying, what do we do with the Bible? He mentioned the gay thing right then. He said, what are we going to do with these verses in the Bible that says, stone the adulterer, kill the homosexual or something like that? He said, what are we going to do with them? President Obama said that. So the move to burn the Bible and probably to burn the Quran is brewing underground slowly. Slowly is brewing underground. One day they're gonna tell all of you. Alright, so what do? Burn the Bible, Christianity versus gays. Is Australia still Christian? And where are the real Christians? Israel Folau lived up to his name. He is an Israelite. He's named Israel. And he's the only one standing defending the Bible. I don't see the Christians defending the Bible alongside him. That's a shame. That's a real shame. Because that's when Israel Folau becomes a victim for the second time. One, he was made a Christian. That's victim. Then he loses his job for being a Christian. Twice a victim. That's why I say Christianity is not valid. Because if it was valid, you would not stand quietly and watch this guy take the fall for essentially what you put in his head, to put it lightly. With that, this is your brother Ty saying thanks for tuning in. I hope we'll catch up soon again. If I have any energy, we'll do something tomorrow night. I didn't have time to plan this lesson, but hopefully it's been worthy of your attention. Please share it, like it, and spread the news of eternal life. That's who we serve. We don't worship God. We worship the Most High Creator. That's his name. That's his only name. And we're getting to the point where everybody starts to understand that your brother Ty is not lying to you. And, you're not even lying to yourself. You can see that right now, that, if you have this faith, keep it strong. Because one day they're going to come for you. Tell you that just mentioning that name, they're going to tell you it's hate speech. Just mentioning the name of the Creator right there, they're going to tell you that it's hate speech. They say, please, we don't want to see that name because some people are getting attacked just for that name. All right, family. So, shalom to all of you. Shalom to all of you. Please leave your comments at the bottom of this video. Try and take a few minutes out when you can in the future, a day or two or what. Leave some comments and share this video. Let people know what's going on this channel. All right. So, Brother Ty saying shalom to all of you. Thanks to all the family who've tuned in. Sorry I haven't been able to read your names out today, but Young Puddy, thank you for coming on and doing the moderator work again. Thank you for that, Young Puddy. Thanks, I appreciate that. All our brothers and sisters out there, all our friends and families in all the four corners of the earth, thank you. Be to you. Anybody who's got questions, who even wants a conversation with me about certain things, please just drop me an email, and I'll try and get back to you. Or still, you can drop me comments on the video itself. I'll try and get back to you. The only promise, I promise I will try. All right. My time is taking up, as you all know, but I'll try my best to get back to you. All right. So may EA be with you till we speak again. And to all our families who are in these communities, LGBT communities, trust me, I don't hate you. We don't hate you here. Sometimes we've all been brought up in this social engineering, which is putting us all against each other. The only one who can really judge any one of us is the Creator himself. All right. So with that said, we don't hate you. We do love you. Leave your comments. Leave your invitations. Come on the show. Let's chat. Let's talk. Let's see where we can get. All right. Even though our minds are made up by what we teach and what we see, you can't blame us for that. You can't blame us for that. All right. But we love you. We love you, and that's real. That's true. So with that said, to all of you once again, night. Thank you very much. Night. Peace of eternal life to all of you. All right. It just means eternal life, our Creator. All right. Okay. Peace of eternal life. I'm sure that's what all of you want. So like we always say, get away from God. Get away from God. Get away from God. God is death. Alright, hope they're going to come for Brother Ty and say, Brother Ty is hating God now. I say, well, if I'm hating God, why God can't do something about it himself? Why you have to speak for him? Oh, I'm hating God. That's between me and God. But I'm telling you, God is the devil. Get away from him right now. Come to eternal life.
You heard me right now?
Come to eternal life. Alright. Okay, family. Thank you very much. Family, you know what to do. Please link in, all of you family. Yeah, if I call one name, I have to call all of them. So all you family, link in, touch in with your emails and so on. Yeah, but I see all your names. But touch in. Those of you who call me on Skype, touch in on Skype or send a message. I'll get back to you. All right. I'm trying to get a bit more active with talking to the family and all that. So please touch in. Yeah, I know some of you are upset that Brother Ty hasn't been in that. Keep me in your prayers. I'm not as strong as you think I am. All right. So keep me in your prayers and see how we can get this thing moving again. Iye, and Iye, Shea bless and be with you. All right, that's Brother Ty signing out to sign in later. 789 that. Right, Iye to all of you family.